Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Join me as we take a look back at two older figures of Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. This one is by Limb Toys, she's 1/6 scale, and this one is by playartskai, and I'm not sure what scale she is. Some of you out there will surely know, and make it known in the comments if you please. I'd be very grateful for that. They both come with an alternative head sculpt. That's the one from the Limb Toys figure. I think the Limb Toys one here, if I remember correctly, I had to get the body separately. So, yeah, I think I got it from 1/6 kit probably, and it was a while back. There's also a Snake figure that Limb Toys made as well. This is a fantastic looking piece, but I really just pit them against each other. I know they're different scales, but there's some serious pros and cons here. I'm going to go into that now for you. So, hope you enjoy the video, folks. Drop a like on it for me, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at dknight333. So, as amazing as the Limb Toys 1/6 scale figure looks, especially with that really realistic TB League body, it's just a problem because I just left her in a pose one day and the elbow was bent. I guess she was kind of bending her elbow and holding the gun there up close to her face. And I left it like that for about 2 weeks. It's my own fault because obviously, you know, you got to avoid stuff like that with these silicone bodies and stuff, but I kind of just wanted to take the chance because I was tired of looking at her just in this museum pose, just arms by her side all the time. But it did do damage to the elbow, which I'll show you in a moment. So it's a great looking, very realistic piece, but you can't really leave it in a cool pose. Like, you couldn't have her holding her sniper rifle and aiming it long term because the elbows would just get shredded. Sometimes it doesn't matter. And, well, to be honest, this arm's not an issue because it's covered. I could just get something and put it around her elbow. It wouldn't be too distracting, and it would just mean that I could go crazy with the poses because it wouldn't matter if anything tears because you're not going to see it anyway. But I still don't like knowing that, you know, there's damage to the body. That really sucks. Hopefully, though, you know, there'll be advancements, that's the word, you know, further steps forward with the old you know, realistic 1/6 scale bodies, and I'm sure this will, you know, evolve over time, over the years. But with this one by playartskai, it's all kind of hard plastic and you don't have to worry about any of that damage stuff. It just doesn't look as realistic. Obviously it's more of a kind of stylized kind of look, especially in the head, you know, the face. She's a little bit oversized in certain areas, and the knees are quite hideous, but it is a, you know, it's a figure that you can pose the hell out of. You can do whatever you want with this one and leave it like that. It will look fantastic. I have done videos in the past, folks, so if you want to see lots of poses, just type in dknight333 into YouTube and Quiet, and then they'll all come up. It's worth a look. But do you want that super realistic, you know, appearance that you can't do much with, or do you want something, you know, again, different scales, but if you just want a representation of Quiet in your collection just somewhere on your desk, you know, I think, well, it's up to you. Like I said, you can pose the hell out of this one and it'll always look great. And there's differences as well when it comes to the realism. The Firesim body, or the TB League body, whatever you want to call it, as realistic as it is, it doesn't have the same kind of muscle tone that this one by playartskai does. If I turn it here, noticed earlier just the muscle tone in the back, like the shoulder blades and the arm there at the top. And yeah, again, the knee area is hideous, but it just allows for crazy articulation. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's, you know, still very realistic. I just like the muscle tone that you can see on this one. Obviously there's a lot more joints visible, so I guess it's this one all day long. But let's see if I can show you the damage I got to my elbow. Yeah, so there's the damage. Even when I straighten the arm, you can see it, it's terrible. So that was from leaving the arm, elbow bent for about 2 weeks. And I kind of have to, when you pull on the tights, I kind of had to fold them down a bit. They're not fully pulled up because if you do, they come up way too high. Yeah, you can see where they're supposed to come to. So I just had to do what I had to do there. Did what I had to do. Done did it. That elbow, man. That is harsh. Watch out with your Firesin bodies, TB League bodies. They look incredible, but you just can't really leave them posed. The playartskai figure is a really good looking piece. If you take the 1/6 scale figure away and just focus on this one, the likeness gets stronger, and yeah, it's oversized in places and a bit stylized, but you know exactly who this is if you played the game. I really do recommend it. I know there's some fake ones going on eBay. I've never seen one in person. Some people say they're just as good looking as the real thing. I don't know, but I had a look on eBay earlier. There were a few of the official playartskai ones. One brand new was quite expensive, and a few second hand, a bit more affordable. But yeah, it's a good looking piece. Hair sculpted really nicely. Likeness is good. You know, it's there. It's just, stylized. The other head sculpt. That looks really good. It's got a slight anime look to it. I guess maybe that's what's going on here. A really, really fantastic piece. I contemplated selling it back when I got the 1/6 scale figure, but I'm glad I didn't. I'll definitely keep this. Just take a look at the Limb Toys one from the side slightly. I mean, it's just super realistic compared to what we just saw. I mean, that angle with the light catching the eyes and just catching the teeth, it looks really impressive. So I just need to find something to cover up the other elbow, or maybe just switch out the body. At times, sometimes, depending on what the lighting situation is, I think that the head sculpt doesn't exactly match the skin tone of the body that was recommended when I bought it, but in this lighting it looks absolutely perfect. I'm sure it's fine, but I'm gonna have to track down a replacement body at some point. I'm not looking forward to switching all these parts around, because I remember this was really tricky to do. I can't remember what the hardest part was. I'm sure if you go back and watch I remember doing an unboxing video and then the review separately, then a bunch of post sessions after that, so there is a lot of content on this figure that I've done over the years if you want to check it out. But yeah, I remember it wasn't easy. Just with the assistance of Log here, we got her just stepping, getting some balance as she's about to get ready to take the shot. Now, when you do in a pose like this, that wrist peg gets really ugly. Or maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I didn't spend too much time on it. But, the knees, again, once you start messing with them, I mean, that is just all kinds of nasty looking, but it is what it is. It's a really poseable figure, so that's fine, Just a quick little pose. Like I said, I've done plenty already on the channel. But she's very poseable. And even though you can see the joints, I still think it looks really good on display. It took her a minute to stand up like this. She really didn't want to, but once she's, you get her all centered and the balance all worked out, it was more like they're not ratchet joints, but at times it feels like there's ratchet joints in the figure, like you're moving it and it kind of wants to go to a certain point and stay there, and then to the next point and to the next. But managed to get it standing up. I wanted to get the legs even closer together, like dead close together, just really straight, and then looking down the scope at the top. But it's an amazing looking piece, and to be honest, if I had to choose, it's difficult because I'm a 1/6 collector mainly, and I need this one to go along with my snake figure in 1/6 scale, so I'd want this, but could never turn away the posability on this playartskai figure, and it looks fantastic. Alright, I've tweaked the pose a little bit. I've actually got the stock of the sniper rifle in a semi-correct position now. She's not exactly looking down the scope yet, she's about to. That's what I'm thinking, because it just doesn't really work when I try to get her to look down it. But this is the way I'm going to put her on display somewhere in the room. It's a really awesome pose. This is the kind of stuff you want to be able to do without fear of damage, and this just looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, you can see the joints, but there's nothing too hideous with this particular pose. I mean, the elbow's there, but what are you going to do? You know? Beautiful. I mean, you can do this pose with the 1/6 scale figure, but look what happened to my elbow when I left it like that for a little while. Might have been that pose actually that did the damage, I forget now. But I definitely posed my 1/6 scale figure like this. You have to do it. But then I guess I went off and thought everything would be okay, but that's my own fault. But you don't have to worry about that with this playartskai figure. It's not 1/6 scale, but it's a pretty decent size. I like it. I'm glad she's here. I'm sure everyone else in the collection is glad she's here too. Let her come around one more time. Appreciate the pose. Looks like her wrist is snapped, but it hasn't. I'm just saying the angle. It's tricky doing this pose. You got to make sure that the trigger finger is where it's supposed to be, the stock of the rifle is supposed to be where it's supposed to be, everything where it's supposed to be, and it's difficult, but doable. I'm sure it can be done better than this, but it still looks pretty damn badass. Yes, sir. But then doing something as simple as just extending the arm out, it just brings this one to life. And it, again, the realism of it is just on another level. Just a simple pose like this, just pointing the gun out. I mean, look at it, it's quiet all day long. Then again, so is this. Definitely more of a stylized look, but it's difficult. Very hard to choose between these two. I wouldn't be without either one, to be honest with you. I've actually tweaked that pose a little bit more now. It's looking amazing. So to wrap up the video, folks, it's a weird one. I mean, ultimately, if I had to recommend just one of these, I'm going to go with the playartskai figure because of the posability and how great she looks all posed up, even with the joints. And you get a spare head as well, with just the regular face without the black around the eyes, which is really nice. And it's such a really well sculpted figure as well. Love all the detail around the belt. I mean, there's not much of an outfit per se, but you can even see a bit of muscle tone in the stomach. You don't have that on the Firesin TB League 1/6 scale figure. Paint's a bit messy. Bikini top there, you can see where some of the black was painted onto the jubs. I might be able to correct that if I can match the skin tone. I've never tried to do it on this figure, but might be worth just trying to fix that little bit of paint mess. That looks really nice, where she's looking down the scope. She actually is looking through the scope now. But can't recommend this figure enough. See what you can see on eBay. Like I said, be careful because there's a lot of fake ones out there. I don't know how good the fake ones are. I mean, if you're on a serious budget, you might have no choice and you might be fine. Maybe you just, I don't know, never seen one in person. Might be, I'm tempted to get a fake one just to compare it to a real one. That's not going to happen though, folks. Don't cross your fingers. I have to be very sensible. I need to sell figures and get rid of some of this stuff, not get more of it. But you know how it is, there's always something else. So there's the 1/6 scale version. Absolutely fantastic, super realistic, and just amazing presence on the shelf, especially standing next to Snake. But like I showed you earlier, I managed to damage the elbows pretty badly, leaving her posed. I know a lot of you will be thinking, well, you should know better than that. You know, don't leave her like that, just take your pictures and then put her back like this. But I just really wanted to have this figure posed up really well like this one. I think I actually did leave it posed like this at one point, and that might have been what did the damage, because as you can see, the elbow has to be pretty seriously bent to hold on to the gun rifle. So yeah, ultimately, if I'm just suggesting one of these, I'm gonna have to go with the playartskai. I think it's a fantastic piece, can't recommend it enough. But obviously this is just almost flawless in appearance, you know. Love the way they've done everything. Nim Toys did a really good job, and you get your spare head as well, which is really nice. So, you know, if you're a 1/6 collector, then obviously go for the Nim Toys. Just be careful. I might see about getting just like a little black bit of material and tie it around that elbow, so I don't have to see the damage. Not that I ever have her turned facing away from me, so I'm never going to see the damage, but I know it's there, and that sucks. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.